In my last video, I talked about 3 main points about why the LGBTQ community is anti-cultural, pseudo-liberal, and can't take an opinion even if their life depended on it. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 more points which are pertaining to recent events that happened and what's the damage of the same. Okay, so the points that I'm going to be discussing are the destruction being caused to society, the rise for perversion and pedophilia, and unwavering support for all of the above. Starting with
their gender identity service for children in Leeds and London now has a record number of referrals.
My daughter was murdered by a gender ideology. CPS took my daughter when she was 16 years old. It was held by her public school counselor, an LGBTQ group rise, and another trans-identified girl.
As you can see in these clips, children are undergoing sex change operations at a really young age, and no one is stopping this. While this might probably be prevalent in Western society, the adverse effect can affect humans as a whole. And people who support this are mostly LGBTQ people who do not understand the physical and mental health complications this can have on a growing child. Typically, it is standard to observe gender dysphoria.
Gender dysphoria is the sense that there is some distress or stress related to the fact that how you see yourself is not how the rest of the world sees you.
Typically, it is standard to observe gender dysphoria in kids up to 7 or 8 years old. But mind you, they are kids. They do not even understand the premise or concept of money, and how can they be reasonably allowed to make a life-altering decision? See, plus gender dysphoria can be a side effect of admiration for an important person in a kid's life, and most of the cases it naturally wears off. But even in the worst case scenario, therapy can help fix gender dysphoria. So why are these non-educated transgender liberals feel like they are more qualified than actual medical professionals? And of course, you know about this famous clip.
Hearts go out to the trans community as they are under attack right now. But this is a president who has said many times before he has their backs. He will continue to have their backs, and he will continue to fight for them.
Representative of the White House came in front of the media and defended a transgender person who shot a Christian school, killing 6 people, including 3 kids. Imagine being a parent of one of those kids and then watching the news to see the government defend the shooter. You heard me right, the government defending the shooter. And while a lot of people did stand against this statement, most of them didn't. They just didn't. They just couldn't care less, or they didn't wanna interfere and seem like a villain, as I've mentioned in my previous videos. So let me just ask one question. Is this going to be the future of our children? Rather than growing up to be successful members of society, are they going to be trapped in a dilemma of choosing what gender they are and what they will do with that? Oh, and don't get me started on okay, so this is a really serious and sensitive topics. So I'm going to be fully truthful with my own opinion, alright? Gender identity is a hoax. There are only 2 biological genders, and a male cannot identify as a female and vice versa. This is not an opinion, this is straight up facts. Okay, let's imagine a scenario that where a pervert or a sexual offender starts to identify as woman. Since no one is going to oppose him, not her, him. Since no one is going to oppose him, he can freely walk into any public women's bathroom. I repeat, he can walk into any public women bathroom or private places reserved for women just because he identifies as a woman.
I'm not. How can you tell me I'm not a transgender? Don't tell me I'm not a transgender, because I am a transgender.
I am an 18-year-old high school student and wanted to take this time to bring to your attention the current issue with biological men claiming they are women and in turn truly believing that they are entitled to use women's spaces.
That is a lot of BS right there. Now imagine the complications of that. Imagine the amount of women who will be in threat. This is no light matter, and the LGBTQ community supports gender, identifying as a different gender. Why? Because it fits into their propaganda. Identifying as another gender is basically up their alleyway. And then, of course, I cannot, tell more about this. Then there's the transgender people. While not all of them, some of them take advantage of their identity and get close to children, and who knows what kind of stuff they will do. This has real serious implications right there. The LGBTQ community, however, does not bat an eye. Why? Because it fits right into that little propaganda, that little liberalist propaganda. Which comes to my third point. Despite all this, why do people support such incidents? Why are they in favor of the LGBTQ community? Just because they were prosecuted in the past doesn't mean that they get to do whatever they want right now. That is not a good reason at all. Sex offender identifying as women, you girl, yes, queen. A kid who's undergoing gender dysphoria and is taken into a gender change surgery. Oh, he or she made the right decision and all that stuff. And while all of this is happening, the liberals, the feminists, many members of the LGBTQ community, not one single person bats an eye. Why is that? See, but then, in all truth, not all LGBTQ members are bad. Because me personally, I have a lot of respect for the Indian transgender community, because unlike in the West, the Indian trans people have a better connection to their religious and traditional values. And many Indian transgender people, involved in social work, in making the society a better place for everyone. But this is why I support the Indian transgender community wholeheartedly. Plus, there's another group in the West who call themselves Gays Against Groomers, where they actively fight against issues like pedophilia, perversion, and many other stuff. And because of this, I support them and I have a lot of respect for them as well. See, it's not that I am actively rejecting LGBTQ members, okay? Everyone deserves a place in the society. If they are willing to share that place with others and live in harmony, everyone deserves a place in the society. And I believe that any good-hearted person, irrespective of caste, creed, race, religion, and identity, deserves a rights and place in society. Well, that is it for today's video. Like this video, share it to others, and definitely subscribe to my channel. I'll try releasing videos weekly, if not bi-monthly. And I am planning to shift the overall theme of the channel, where I focus on major events and issues. Plus, I will be focusing on little chill themes, chill topics. But then, majorly I'll be focusing on major events and issues in the society going on right now. Humor will still be there, so don't worry. You don't have to worry about losing that older that Indian. Okay. So yeah, I'll try releasing as much content as possible from now on, I know I wasn't that active, but then that is because I have college. College is stressful. That's it. And maybe I should make a video on that. Yeah, I might make a video on that. This is That Indian Nerd, and see you next time.